Oh, so I thought I could go back to sleep. That didn't happen. Well, let me just say this, the process, right? Now, this came to me because we were doing a 48 laws of money, and there was a point where it said that you just have patience with the process of it all. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to find it. Okay, sometimes I need to look at this shit to fucking before I start the show, right? But I want to talk about something else with the process. There it is. Law 13. Focus on the process, not just the outcome. Okay. All right. I realized that a lot of people, you have to, I want y'all to hear me very closely. Okay. Hone your craft. Hone your craft. The word hone means to sharpen your craft. Okay. Whatever it is that you're doing, my love. Okay. It is important for you to do that because if you hone your craft, you begin to know your craft. And when you know your craft, you will know what's what and what's not. Excuse me, I yawn. Let me say it again. You will know what's what and what's not. I apologize to the headphone users on that. What that means, I have sat back and I analyze people, right? I analyze. I do my up and down search before I take steps to do anything. Okay. I do my up and down search before I um, you know, decide who I'm going to speak to, who I'm going to comment to, who I'm going to friend request, follow, accept their friend request, all these things, right? Much, much more vigilant than I have ever been before, right? Now, what am I getting at here? What I'm getting at here, where's the stream? Restream.io. What I'm getting at here is that I'm just sitting here watching people, and I could tell the people who have put in the proper work versus people who just decided to do it. And nothing wrong with people who just decided to do it. You know what I'm saying? Just but something I have about that with some people. You know, I was sitting down today and I realized something about myself because it's not about anybody else but me, right? In the sense of when you're self-reflecting. And I was like, my problem is I sit down, I get in front of people, and I want to share. I want to, oh, here, read this, or check out this book, or I want to be like, hey, here goes some information I got, right? I want to do that to people, and I'm learning to stop doing that shit. And I'm going to tell you why I have come to this. Because people who, like I said, people uh, who do not do the process, and I sit here and I put in the work, they don't. they don't get to know my work. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you why. Okay. Don't see it as being mean, spiteful, or in no. When you invest into yourself, which we talk about here, when you are investing into yourself, when you are putting in the work to actually go to school, and you are putting in the work to actually uh yeah, you put in the work to actually go to school. You're actually taking the time, because when you go to school you got to take time for yourself, right? And you're doing homework because you have homework and you have projects that you have to do when you do schoolwork, right? You put in that's a lot of time. Okay. When you're investing into masterclass and you're purchasing that, which is not cheap at all, when you're investing into taking certain courses for certain things, whether it's certification or an actual course on it, or you're paying to still take a course, you're investing your time and your money. And we know that our time is money. We are the currency, right? Why put time into telling somebody what to do, not what to do, or helping them when they could do what you did? In the same way you make your mistakes and you had to learn, they got to go through the process too. Now let's get into the process. Let me tell you something I did about my writing. I would get up. I had a job. I would get home around like 12 midnight, one. Come home. I would write for an hour. Sometime always to 6 a.m. if I didn't have to work the next day. Get the children up. Get them to school. Get me back up. And either finish out whatever I was doing, blogging, whatever, go to bed, get up, get the kids, cook whatever, everything in the oven, maybe go back to my desk and do some shit. That was my process. And if they went off to the grandparents' house, that was more of my process to get more stuff done, more writing, more organizing, more this, more that. Just a lot more shit to get done, right? Just me. And as time went on, this was my fucking process. All right. Let's not add the process of actually going outside and learning things and writing down the places that I have been, writing all the places, reviewing the food in the places, getting ready to start myself a magazine and stuff like that. Also, the boutique, the process of going to get the products for the boutique, the process of uh shit of meeting music artists and shit. You know what I'm saying? The process of actually studying and having books on writing and my grammar and understanding what writing is. Oh shit, that just remind me. I have a book I can reread again. Right? Damn, y'all. Thank you, universe, for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I just remember I have a book. I make sure I bought that book. I make sure I kept that book. Yeah, and I'm going to read that book again to study my grammar, to learn how to write better again. Oh, yeah, okay. So we got that book that I bought. I had the Writer's Digest book. Writer's Digest. I mean, this is all process, y'all. This is all time. And these are things I did from in my 20s, from 28. And when I hit 30, it really got real. The books I bought for like on writing romance and stuff when I first started the novel, the screenwriting stuff man, I can go on. That's the process. Even in between the bullshit, that's the process. And between all that, I still got the fuck up and I still did more for myself. So much that I was in my zone, so much doing schoolwork. catching up with all the schoolwork first because I have two more projects to do. I'm on the animation now, and I was like, "Ooh, wait, this is a lot." I'll catch up with this the weekend or something. I was like, I could not get into that project. I was like, I was making sure I had everything else done, but the animation part was pretty cool, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm learning how to do this too. All right." And so that's where I'm at. I'm on animation, and I'm learning some shit. I learned a lot from that class. I learned a lot in my screenwriting class, and so um, this is all the process. So there's a lot of things that I know that I learned to screenwriting school, as well as learned on my own, but learned to screenwriting school. But I can tell when somebody is not really doing the process. And this is where it can be insulting to other people. And I think that this is where people misunderstand things. I mean, it can be insulting, and I'll explain to you why it can be so insulting to other people. Okay, number one, I'm going to explain this to you. All right, when you look at somebody's stuff, right, and you go, okay, I'm looking at this because, especially when you're going to school, you're coming from a creative, critical eye, not in a way of like, I don't tear down people's work. That's just something I don't do. I don't tear down people's work. I give a critical eye of learning and what would I do different? What would I do better? I have a much more intelligent way that I look at things. And so, as my eye begins to look at things in this process, uh, it's like, okay, well, like, I think I would do this, and maybe the dialogue would be like this, and this, that, and the third, right? Okay, so what happened? What happened was I realized, uh, well, I had this moment of looking at things and stuff today. I know I'm being transparent here. I know y'all. I am. I realized that, you know, the more and more I value myself, the more and more I invest into myself, the less likely I am to give out things for free. You see how that works? Why? Because I put the work in to build it. Okay? All right? The process. The process of learning the business of what I do. Oh man, that's my favorite part of class. Learning all the business, gross and net income, managers, agents, producers, executive producers. All these things I begin to learn in class. And I'm like, yeah, this is my favorite fucking part. But I'm doing that because I'm going to tell you something that I have come to see. I want you all to be careful, okay? For those of you who are learning about the laws of money, all the stuff we're learning, and about your value and currency and stuff, I want you to apply it. You need to hear this. When you are riding that kind of wave, you cannot allow yourself, especially when you're investing into yourself, to give yourself out for free. And don't allow yourself to be put in a position or feel like you're in a position where you're sharing stuff for free, especially in a space with people who are supposed to know what they know. If somebody is running something I don't want to step in and run a damn thing with them. I'm gonna let them run the show because that's their shit. I'm gonna sit back and respectfully be respectful in my place, and that's it. Even if they put the offer on the table, I'm still not offering myself to say a goddamn thing. They got to learn for themselves. I just look and be like, I know one thing, I would not tolerate that. That, or nope, that nope. And I sat back and I realized I was like, I don't think this person knows this intricate part about the film. I don't think they have the basic knowledge of the film. I feel like they just followed through. They just looked at some scripts. They wrote what they wrote from the scripts, and that's it. You think I heard from that dude that was asking for that idea shit? No, I haven't heard from that person. You see what I'm saying? And again, that was a lesson before I started learning about, what I'm learning about money, but that was a big lesson. No, you don't give yourself out for free. You always pay you for whatever they want to know, especially when you invested into yourself to know what you know. You have to know what you're worth. Do you know that every time you go to school, you get a certification in something? Do you know that every time you turn on a video and you're sitting down and you're teaching yourself something as if you're in a classroom, you're building up your worth every time? Do you know that? Do you know every time you sit down and you practice what it is that you are learning, like you put it into practice, as you go and teach it or you write about it, whatever, you are putting up your value. And you have to not be afraid to say how much you are worth. Now, another thing that's very key. Now, another thing that is very important to mention here. Um, I can share this. I came across a beautiful, beautiful film today, and it was in another language. Okay, but the film was stunning. Do you hear me? And I saw their storyboards, right? And I was like, yeah, I would attract this. I literally was thankful though. I'm not gonna hold you. I was very thankful to have crossed paths with this person. And I would attract that. And they had storyboards of sketches, and they actually did the film shot of their sketches. So, okay, this is the same shit I do. You know what I'm saying? Just it's beautiful to see somebody's storyboard sketch turned into real life film. Then, excuse me, y'all. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck that was. Excuse me. So then, uh, as I'm watching this shit, right? Um, I realized that how do I say this? Uh there was a part in there where they were like, all you have is now, right? I was like, I had translated it, that's why. It was like, all you have is now. I was like, yeah, all I have is now. And the person doing the film looked like they was very much in their 40s. Okay, I'm just the energy, the film, everything. It just gave me 40. It just felt like they were 40. Then I crossed paths with another person who worked for TV, worked for Grey's Anatomy, and she's off doing her own thing. And I watch her a lot. Actually, she's past 40, and she has a brand that she built for Black women over 40 years old. And so then I crossed paths, and I found uh well, I didn't cross. Well, I've been cross paths with her, but this person I crossed paths with, it was another film, and it was kind of dope. And I was like, why they sound like they from up north, but then they sound like they from the south? They must be in the DMV area, okay? Because they got that strange accent thing that goes on. I'm like, why does person sound like they from Brooklyn, but then this person sound like, where the fuck are y'all from? Like, it was interesting, and I followed that channel. But I basically, what I began to follow, and I had a domino effect, was real good film, real good quality film, right? And these are the things that I follow. Now, I'm sure if I was to go to this person's page right now and was to literally, um, what's the name? You know, see who they're following, right? I think that I won't see anything close to what I have going, right? And the reason I won't be able to see what I have going is because there it is. Okay, hold on. Because that person, um, I'm not seeing anything that's indicating that who are the other people. I think y'all get what I'm saying here. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Another thing. Um, this is not me coming down and judging nobody. This is not for that. I want you to know that. All right. I need you to understand that this all comes into the whole thing of where am I at? Of you. And I want you to see what you are worth. While you have the patience, while you're working hard to do what you do, while you're doing your success studies, while you're putting a frequency energetically in there, while you're doing all of these fucking things for your life, I need you to understand the importance and how that makes you valuable. Okay? You like understand it does. So therefore don't sell yourself short. Don't let it make you feel like uh how do I say this to y'all, man? Why am I so lost for words right now? It's like, okay, got it. All right. Don't be caught up in, well, it ain't like I got a damn master's degree, a doctoral degree, or a fucking bachelor's degree. It don't matter, love. Do you understand that a certification means that you go look up the word certification? It means you're a professional and whatever it is that you got a certification in. You're certified in that field of work. That's what that means. So me becoming a certified from getting this, finishing this class, becoming a certified modern screenwriter. I'm a certified modern screenwriter. And doing the work and get the grades for the work, that's me. I'm still a certified modern screenwriter. That's an accolade that's attached to my name. I go to the other screenwriting course with the person who focuses on the screenwriting significantly. I can attach that to my name. Hey, I attended this course and this is what I got out of this course. Or you can just ask the person, hey, is there a way I can get credited for completing this? More than likely you will. A lot of people are giving people certifications in their courses. A lot of people take advantage. There are courses you can pay for that are 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever courses that you can complete, and you complete it properly, you get a certification in that course. And the reason why you get a certification in that course is because you put the work in to get certified in that course. And you get certified, there's no expiration date. Okay? All right. Now, the process. Process is the frequency that you have put in to do what you do. And because you have put the frequency in to do what you do, you once you take yourself to school in something, right? Do you know that you have a right? You can do this. People do this while they're in school. They will get in front of a camera with a whiteboard, and they'll start talking. They'll start teaching from what they learned to school, because you teach in order to learn what you learn, and you're from school. It, because teaching is how you learn. Because the more you teach, the more you're learning from what you're teaching. And if you're incorrect, you go back and you take it back to the drawing board, as they say, and then you learn again. When I'm sitting here and I'm talking about the frequency of money and the laws of money, that's me learning and teaching that right here in front of you while I'm sitting here learning. You can do that when you're taking a course, when you're going to school. The woman who is the TV writer that I watch, that goes into stories and stuff, she earned that. She can talk about TV shows, TV writing, all she wants to, because she's a TV writer. She can tell you about what this show mean and this, that, and the third, because she's a TV writer. I'm going to school for screenwriting. It talks about screenwriting. I've been writing about symbolism and all that shit, right? I've been doing that, right? But I can talk to you about the actual characters and why they stand where they stand and why they wear the colors that they wear and all kind of shit from the story. So, thought about something else too. You go through the process and you go through practicing, right? Right. I was reading something today that was talking about practicing. It was saying something about practicing as a freelance writer and practicing. Oh yeah, I remember. It was the man who wrote Breaking Bad. Yeah, he wrote a whole. He has his own blogs on Save the Cat, and he was talking about the process of like, preparation. That's it. Preparation through freelance writing and editing and stuff like that, right? So you build the preparation for yourself. That's what the process is for as well. The woman is another woman I follow, and she was like saying how she decided at 35 to be a screenwriter, and she got up and she did it. Like it happens. Like I said, these things can happen that way. They really can, and it works out for people. But there's always a process. If you've been writing and novel writing and blogging writing, you've been writing. So if you decide, hey, this is the field of writing that I want to go into, you can jump into that field, you can learn about it, and there it is. See, that's the thing about the process. But there are some people where you can look at them and you can be like, you just wanted to do this because you think it's easy. You just want to do this because you just think that there's money in this. You just want to do this because you just feel like, you know, you think that this shit is easy. And you think that is much. I can see people like that. Remember I told you, one of the laws was like, don't do it for the money, do it for the value, or something like that. I might say it backwards, but it did say that. That was one of the laws. Don't do it for the money, do it for the value. And you can see this with people. And I'm going to tell you, people like that always flop. I mean, they just always flop. And it's not hard to look at people and tell what it is that they do and what it is that they love to do and how they love to do the things that they do. Anyway, that's all I wanted to get out. I'm done here.